Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be reviewing Disney Pixar's Cars 3. Cars 3 is a proper sequel this time. It's just unfortunate that it took them over a decade to get one. Lightning McQueen is still racing along with his crew, but it's at this point Doc Hudson has passed away for a little while. They don't show us, but it's part of the movie they bring up a few times. As he continues racing in the opening scene, it gets increasingly harder for him to keep up with all of these new hotshot racers with better engines and more efficient designs. The main one for him to beat is Jackson Storm. During a race, he's struggling to keep up with the other racers, and he just keeps pushing and pushing himself. But eventually, he pushes too far and has a devastating crash. It's shown that he stayed at Radiator Springs for 4 months and has yet to touch a track since. He gets a call from the owners of Rusty's and is told that the owners have sold it to a new businessman. McQueen is given a second shot at being a successful racer, but if he doesn't win his first race, he agrees to retire. This is a big fear for McQueen because he doesn't want to stop racing and he wants to still believe that he's a young, fast race car still. When he arrives, he's trained by Cruz Ramirez, and she tries her techniques, but they pretty much make him all look like an old man, and they don't really help him out too much. She tries his way, but isn't used to driving outdoors at all. Even though it was frustrating for McQueen to deal with her, I could already see that she was learning tips from McQueen. McQueen tries to get faster from various trainings, but he didn't get anywhere. He gets upset at Cruz for wasting his time, and he tells her that she'll never know what it's like to be a racer. She then tells us her story of how she looked up to McQueen, and she always wanted to be a young racer like him. And when she got her first chance to race, she knew that she didn't belong with the rest of them, and she gave up on her one opportunity to be a racer. She then drives off, and McQueen calls Mater and has a very reassuring talk with him about what to do, and he ends up finding her again and apologizing. Then they go to an old town where Doc Hudson used to train. While driving on the track, they're met with Smokey, who was the coach for Doc Hudson. I don't know how Doc died and not his coach, since his coach was clearly quite a bit older than Doc was, but okay, Pixar. Cruz and McQueen meet some old racers, and they all help out in their training. Smokey teaches not only McQueen, but Cruz some unique and valuable lessons in racing. It felt very familiar to how Doc trained McQueen, and it was fun to see. By the end of their training, McQueen just wasn't fast enough statistically to beat Storm. Into the final act, he starts his first race of potentially his last season. He knew that he couldn't win, so instead, he let Cruz take his place and let her finish the race. He gave her a second chance at becoming a famous racer. She accepted, and with the coaching of McQueen and all that she's learned, she had won. And since she entered with McQueen's number, technically, McQueen won as well. It was another happy ending where McQueen didn't retire and could still race, and Dynaco recruited Cruz as their new racer. Unlike the previous movie, this movie had some great characters, a solid story, good lessons, and amazing visuals. For the most part, it seemed pretty good, as Pixar does, but when they had the mud pit scene or scenes with water, it was just insanely good. And the particles and the dirt, you could just really see everything in such fine detail, and it was just incredible. This was overall a solid movie to end off the Cars franchise. And while it's sad to think McQueen isn't the best racer anymore, the reality it shows is that we all grow up and become older, and new things are always being invented and improved upon. And sometimes it's hard to let go of the glory days or the past, but it's okay to move on. This movie is deserving of being a Pixar film, unlike the last one. Well, that's going to do it for my review of Disney Pixar's Cars 3. I hope you guys enjoyed. I enjoyed this movie a little bit more than I thought I would, and maybe you guys did too. Let me know down in the comments, and feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this as well. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys all next time.